Well, welcome back to another Sunday Sense Lawyer. This week has been very interesting. Um, Interesting, not to say the least. I think we're setting up ourselves to a very soap opera-ish week coming up, starting tomorrow, Monday. Um, this last week, or let's say this week that just ended today, has brought us a lot because I obviously I am very pro Second Amendment. Obviously, how you guys have already noticed. But I am very involved in the land community and everything that has to do with the Second Amendment. I pay a lot of attention to everything that's going on because it affects me directly, and I just look at the rules, laws, and things coming in and out every day, and certain things that actually caught my attention. And because of that, I like to speak a lot about them. For example, I would like to talk about a federal judge that just made a judgment based on um, his beliefs that even a illegal immigrant has rights under the Second Amendment to possess a weapon. Gun is a very touchy subject. It's a very touchy subject because people like me are always trying to make sense of all the laws and everything that happen day in day out against law-abiding citizens like me. And then you see all those criminals just carrying and doing and using whatever they want, and obviously they're not gonna follow any rules or laws. That's those are not for them. But then it comes out to okay, this judge comes out and says that illegal immigrants have the right to possess weapons based on the Second Amendment. And it makes me think, I mean, how can illegal immigrants be tied to our constitution when they're not even citizens or residents or nothing? I mean, is crazy. And yet, even though yes, it's true, all this judgment came out of based on one specific person. Will suggest that you go follow the case so you understand a little bit more where it's coming from. But is mind blowing. At the end of the day, you just go boom, what? But hey, it should be a very good example for all of those people, the NRA, like me, people that like to protect the Second Amendment. Because every time they want to come against us or against our weapons or against our rights, um, we should always remind them about this democratic appointed judge that actually ruled on the favor of an illegal having a weapon. So it's very interesting, to say the least. I hope that this sets a precedent in which allows us, law-abiding citizens, to continue to bear arms and be able to expand our rights how our founding fathers intended. So let's see. Let's see what happens. So that was a very interesting ruling that I obviously needed to go into extremely fast because obviously it caught my attention big time. The other thing that I would like to talk about is that elephant in the room this week. The elephant in the room this week is that judgment of 450, actually more than $400 million that Trump has against him. His ability to obtain a bond, and what I think is basically insane. Where do I come from, and why do I say it is insane? Well, look, I'll put it this way. How can somebody basically pay such an amount of money in order to be able to appeal a decision, a ruling, or judgment, whatever you want to call it? At the end of the day, it is it is like somebody that was I would say was brought to justice for killing another person, but the reality is they were no victim. There was no witnesses. There was no nothing. But yet, he was ruled, and basically he was judged as a assassin and as a killer, and as a killer, let's say, not assassin. And basically, he got blamed completely, and the judgment went as he needs to get a death penalty. The sentence was very clear. He needed to get a death sentence. So before he can appeal that decision, he needed to die. You need to serve the sentence, okay? Make it good in the sense of you need to die and then come back and we'll appeal it. That's basically the way that this is being handled. It is really and truly insane. Something that, man, you only see a third world country. Not even. Not even. Those certain things are crazy. Somebody with the power and the money and everything to be able to deal with something like this, not even a third world country will have such a ruling. Uh, it is crazy. I think he's setting a huge precedent as well in New York because let's say the developer or something, I would never touch the land of New York. There's no way. I will never be anywhere around New York. If that's the case, obviously it will be up to whatever state attorney or anything around that doesn't like me for basically for them to be able to ruin my life. And that is very dangerous. That is extremely dangerous. I don't know how these people are going to be able to sustain an amount of investment and everything when they don't know when it's going to be their turn to deal with, once again, an AG going against them. Attorney generals have a lot of power. Most of the time, and basically what they're showing you is whenever they put you in their crosshairs, you're done. You're done. They will come at you, and if the system backs them up, like it did in this case, they will be doing some very crazy rulings. And in my personal opinion, something that should have never happened. Should never happen. It doesn't matter what side you are. But this is going to basically hand Trump his victory. Um, this is going to open up the eyes to a lot of people. Independent voters and everything are going to be looking at this and judging the Democratic Party for all the abuse that they're doing on our judicial system. Is very dangerous and very saddening to see that this happens. Look, I am 100% pro doing things the right way, doing things with evidence. Is important because obviously when you have so much proof about something wrong happening, obviously you do want the law to look at it and to follow it 100%. And I am being part of that case, how I mentioned before. And yes, I really hope that I'm able to find the whole structure to see everything that has happened, all discrimination and the wrongdoing. That's all I hope. But then you see cases like this that are based on nothing, based on air, where once again, even the bank is saying, "Hey, this guy paid his debt; he was good to it." Um, and then you see the valuation of a property that we all know is not worth $80 million. It's not worth $50 million. It's not worth $100 million. It's way more than that. I mean, this property is massive and possibly in a gold mine area. So, yeah, no. $18 million? No way. And these people just, do some very absurd decisions and bringing down to a judgment that obviously nobody is going to back up. Nobody's going to back up because if everybody is looking at this case from the court, they're realizing that the judge is executing this and making a judgment based on lies and obviously the wrong proofs, and they're manipulating the whole system. How can somebody put their skin or anything on this very messed up system in New York? I mean, obviously, you're telling a bail bondsman to, put the bond, but at the same time, they basically don't know when the guy gets out or something is let's put it this way. They're gonna put a bond, but they know the guy is not gonna pay and the guy's guilty or whatever, and the system is just gonna make sure that the guy, gets executed. Nobody's gonna do it. Obviously, they do it because they need to make money, right? Any financial institution or anything is going to give a percentage of it because it's going to make some other percentage out of it, and they have to make something out of it. But in this case, how can they trust our judicial system when, at the end of the day, is that messed up? They can't. They can't. Nobody with common sense can do that. And as a matter of fact, for even Trump or anybody to come up with that just to appeal it. I mean, if the ruling came out to this and is so absurd, what makes them believe that the appeal or anything is going to actually work out correctly? I mean, we can only hope. We can only hope the appeals court is, is straightforward enough and they actually look at all the evidence and everything and they see how messed up this has been handled and they realize and they execute the right ruling. But we don't know. We don't know. We're here because this very third world country like judicial system and judge and prosecutor and everything and attorney general just like to handle, and they were very successful in handling all of this like a circus. So what is going to happen? What is going to happen is this soap opera just started. We're about to see it tomorrow. We're going to see how this unfolds tomorrow. Tomorrow, Monday, if I'm not mistaken, Monday the 25th is the day truth. The day that we will see how once again the Attorney General is going to handle the payment that the expiration of the time that Trump had to pay. And from there, we'll see if she's going to take control of his properties or his cash, which obviously was going to be used for his campaign. So once again, it brings you up to a point of saying, wait, hold on. All of this is happening and they're going against their cash or against their properties or whatever. And just in the middle of the elections. Like, look, I know Democrats like to say, hey, you conspiracy theorists and this and that, but get in the shoes of these people for a second and just think about it and say, okay, hold on. They are attacking his money right in the middle of the campaign. They're doing this, they're doing that, and why are they doing it? It looks very fishy, right? Like, I'll put it this way. Somebody's passing next to your car, it keys your whole car, and then, gets a knife and mess up your tires. And you're looking at all of this, and you're not thinking it's vandalizing your vehicle at all. You just think the guy didn't just, notice. It was just by accident. No. All of this is done purposely. And is very worrisome once again. I don't think that we should ever get to this point. I hope that the appeals court sees its own time and that they make the right decision, the right ruling. And let's see tomorrow what they're going to be doing. Letitia is going to most probably give it a try into getting his properties. And then who knows what she's going to do? Who knows if she's going to bankrupt them and bring them down? Because look, if they're handling everything like in a third world country, what makes them believe they're going to be successful in handling such a big properties? Um, I don't think they have the capabilities to do so. But who knows? Who knows? Hey, they probably get them and they decide to sell them and execute those properties. And then, you know, if the ruling comes against them or something, I would love to see what is going to happen at that moment. Because if they sell or they execute those properties or anything, and the appeals court goes against them, and obviously they have another trial that will show otherwise, which basically will value Mar-a-Lago as the right amount, what is really worth. What are they going to do then? What are they going to do then? I mean, will the state be able to pay the lawsuit that is coming against them? That is a question. That is a question. What is going to happen? But I can tell you something. That decision that is coming tomorrow is going to determine what happens in the election, final election this year. I think that will be it. You have a bunch of people just very worried about the city itself, the state of New York, with the crime levels going up. And, something very interesting. I was reading about the crime levels, and they're like, yeah, the crime percentages and levels have dropped, but the the appreciation that people have about crime hasn't. Oh man, like really? The, I mean, it would be great if you guys could read all the comments from the people from New York, and they just went off. They just went off. These people really and truly think we're idiots. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. They treat us like we're dumb, and they really believe that we're dumb. I mean, is unexplainable. I can tell you something. I don't consider myself to be dumb at all, and I see what is happening. I see everything that happens day in day out, and all I can say is all of those actions are going to have consequences. And the consequences are going to be popping out left and right on November 4th when people go out to vote, and they will vote these people out of power. That's what is going to happen. I mean, people are not that dumb. I mean, most of them are. There is some other ones that clap like seals, and go like complete seals on everything they see and they hear from the media day in day out, and that's another story. That's another story. And that comes down all the way to our budget. If you see something ridiculous like 1,000 page something budget that they just passed, should be going up to by the desk at any moment. I think it has so many expenses and things that obviously are not in the best interest of this country. They're not. They're not. I mean, if you look at everything that's happening in the border and everything that is happening in trying to control our rights, and then supposedly the the Senate being controlled by a majority that is supposed to care about us, and obviously they're not. They're not. And that needs to change. All of that needs to change. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. We should all care about where the money goes to, because as they try to show, oh, it doesn't matter because we have a limited amount of money and we keep getting loans and we keep this and we keep that and we can print our own money. There's a lot of things that people say out, but all of this is going to be paid on later on by our kids. So we just letting this ball roll, and it will catch up eventually, most probably to them. So do we want to deal with that? Or actually, let me rephrase that. Do we want our kids to deal with that? Or should we start dealing with it now? Putting an end to this and really and truly doing what is right. What is right for our economy? What is right for our country? And start really caring about the things that we should be caring, not about what happens in Pakistan or something else, because we don't like the way they think about, I don't know, mm, any rights. Let's call them elephant rights. So now let's fight against that because we don't like the rights that elephants have, and we need to make sure they have more rights in their country. Listen, that's not our problem. That should never be our problem. That should never be our priority. We have bigger problems at home, and we're getting invaded day in, day out. I said it before. 11 million people is what they're calculating that have coming into this country that they know of. Look at Russia. Russia just got a horrible terrorist attack. And yes, I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be looking at this podcast and go, "Well, they deserve it." No, they don't. They don't. These people that were inside of that music hall did not deserve to die the way they did. Nobody does, as a matter. They're human. They're humans, and who knows? There were probably some in there that were pro-war, and the other ones were against the war. Who knows? But I can tell you something: there were civilians that were not involved in anything whatsoever that had to do with whatever decisions the governments made. But they pay the ultimate price for peace. And that's where we have come down to a terrorist attack, left and right. And we're not immune of that. We're not. And we have got to a point in which it can happen to us at any moment. It can. It can. I mean, the amount of people that have come into this country that we have no idea of, and especially if they came in a way for not to be that detected, once again, I don't think they have good intentions. And we could be paying the price. Being that said, it's not about, not getting together in public events or at all. I mean, I don't believe that we should live in fear. Never, never. Obviously, unfortunately, we have to keep an eye on everything we do. Unfortunately, we have to look around us. Unfortunately, we have to look at everybody, analyze, and it's essential because our life depends on it. All right. Profiling is something that everybody says is shouldn't happen. But at this point, if we don't do it, even as civilians, it can be it for us. It can be it for us. Me, particularly me, obviously, always keep an eye on my surroundings, and I will notice if I see a person more than once a day. Is important. It's important. And yes, it changed the way of life, and you don't move around, walk around freely like most of the people do. At least not mentally, because you're always looking over your shoulders. You're always looking at the people driving around you. You're always looking at the people walking towards you, past you. And sometimes, after you look at them a little bit more and you feel uncomfortable, you will look over your shoulder to see once again where they're heading and what are they doing. And it sucks. It really does. But that's the way we have to live. That's the way we have to live. My safety and my family's safety depends on it, and that's fine. We'll do it. I'll do it. I have no problem with that. But there is a lot of people that just tend to ignore it, and they feel very safe. And that sense of safety has diminished drastically in the last couple of years. And it doesn't matter if the news says that our country is safer now in the sense of crime has gone up. It's not a sense. It's actually, you can see that it is more dangerous. We do have a lot of more people out here that shouldn't be here. And we're gonna have to address that sooner or later. Before or after they start getting involved in our elections. Like, look, we already had a judge, I was at the beginning of the podcast, that had ruled that illegal immigrants have the right to have a gun under the Second Amendment. I mean, how far are we from a judge coming out and saying, well, illegal immigrants have the right to vote? And that's it. That's it. We're done. We're over. We're over. I mean, are we gonna move? Where? Where are we gonna move? Um, we'll be very screwed. And we don't have to go far. Look at most of those countries that have gone through this through invasions in order to expand certain cultures had happened for years, thousands of years, and that's how some civilizations have moved forward is by moving, occupying, conquering, and then setting up their the governments. The way of handling things, and that's it. That's it for what was there, and then to find liberation from that again is too costly, too dangerous, and who knows? Wars are not the same anymore. Principles are non-existent. Most of everything is just done via terrorism, and it sucks. It really sucks. Um, at least there was a time in life in which you had some kind of a loyalty in war and principles. Uh, that's that doesn't exist. So going back into what happened in Russia is very saddening. A lot of innocent lives were lost, and my heart feels for that. My heart feels for all of these people that were affected. I really and truly hope that they find peace. At least we know those victims are in a better world than ours, that is so upside down nowadays. And I really hope that God has received them with arms wide open. What happened with the people that perpetrated those attacks? I don't know. What will happen with them? Look, is everybody should know that if you are willing to act that way and act like a terrorist, you should be treated as such. Um, Certain rules and laws should not apply to terrorism. Should not. Because they don't base their lives in any kind of rule. And a lot of that happens, into crimes. And I'm a firm believer to follow the rules and laws. 100%. Once again, I said it before and I say it now. And that's why I think everybody that makes mistakes like that and they're so obvious should be held in a very high court and should be dealt with directly. Doesn't matter what it is. It should apply to everything in life. That kind of mentality that we have lately of, oh, they're humans or people. Look, doesn't matter if it's a person, corporation, whatever it is. When you cause so much harm to somebody else, uh, that's when you think, and I personally believe they should suffer the bigger consequences. Because if you have the power uh, to change somebody's life to that point, I mean, and that other party has no power whatsoever or nothing to be able to defend themselves, that's where the law should kick in and back the poor victims up and make things the right. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. This week is going to be very interesting. Let's see what comes up from tomorrow on. Next Sunday Sense will be interesting. Can't wait to see what happens. And we'll keep an eye on all the news coming out and everything that is going on. For now, I really strongly hope that people around are noticing what is going on. And, you know, the guilty ones pay the price. That is essential. That is the only way to serve justice. Uh, So we'll see. Anyways, I would like to thank you guys for once again being part of this Sunday Sense. Advocate. And thank you for your time. I strongly appreciate it. I do have a couple ideas coming up in the near future. Um, Hopefully, it will be some kind of productive ideas, but I'll keep you guys updated in the weeks to come. For now, God bless us all, and I am